Hello Leo, welcome back to my channel, The Vibes Inside. I am Mariana and I will do your reading. I am ready, I think, to do that. I have reshuffled the cards to save some time and make the video a bit shorter, I hope. And so let's see what's up for you, Leo. I have a feeling that I'm tapping into an energy that is somewhat similar as last week, where I feel like I was tapping into an energy where it seemed like a lion or Leo, you Leo, was kind of humbling yourself, trying to walk in someone else's shoes. I remember I had the star card come out, which is Aquarius energy, and that's your opposite, Leo, right? That so there was some kind of humbling or realizing that some way you have been doing things is maybe not all that good. I sit here today, I have no makeup on. This is very raw and well, I have no problem with that, right? But you know, some people may have that. And so like being really honest and really truthful and really authentic is maybe not easy, right? If you normally have been, you know, a performer, competitive perhaps. And I believe that, Leo, you are highly competitive. Like you compare yourself and you want to get to the top of something, stand in the spotlight. You know you have always competitors or haters, or you have fans, but you also have haters perhaps, right? And being liked by everyone, like having adoration and admiration from everyone. It's a tough job because you have to continue to prove that you are the lion, right? That you are Leo, that you're placed on top of the mountain, or the place on top in the hierarchy is well earned, it's deserved. So to be a competitive Leo requires for you to be able to have a continuous, like, proof that you are that majestic, you would say. And you can only have that if someone else is willing to be a competitor to you, or that someone else is willing to be a follower. You can by no means have success if nobody is admiring you. If nobody is looking at you, if nobody is cheering at you, if nobody likes you on Facebook or something, if you don't have a fan group, or, you know, like money in the bank that proves that you have actually achieved something, you have worked your way to the top. Maybe you were a producer of something, maybe you were selling products, and you have been doing that for a long time and created a very successful business. You can't not have attention on it, right? If you take your attention away from it, then you could potentially lose it, right? I think Leos are very aware of this, like this idea that staying at the top requires work. It requires attention, nurture, commitment. And I feel like when I sat down here, again, I didn't take any makeup on, and it's because it's supposed to be like, I think it's like people are supposed to see the real you somehow. A part of you really wants to be able to sit like this and just, I get a feeling of saying I'm sorry, like an apology or something. I have the Queen of Earth here as overall energy. Well, and we see a bit of like, it's almost like a reflection from my candle. Oh, how did I do that? It was there before, like, well, anyway, yeah, there it is. The reflection of my candle here. I don't know if that means anything, like a reflection of, maybe you are a reflection of your mother. Someone is a reflection of your mother. Because it's the Queen of Earth here. I see the Queen of Earth as mother. And we see it's like the little butterfly here is sitting almost on the shoulder of mother here, right? And is perhaps wanting her acceptance, right? Looking up to her and wanting her acceptance. And underlying energy, I have the Three of Air here. And Three of Air is usually a card of heartbreak. In this deck, it has to do with rejection. That rejection can really cause heartbreak, right? That if we are not accepted for who we are, or maybe something turned their back to you, Leo, because I really feel like I'm in tune with a Leo here that is apologetic. Like it's like a rejection here. And this can really be a heartbreak, right? That this can be very troublesome here. That someone rejected you, maybe a feminine here, like a feminine energy. And this can go all the way back to your childhood, I don't know, right? But if someone shows you rejection somehow, you may have a tend to bow, you know, like, and if this has been a learned behavior from your childhood, all the way back to childhood, it could be like, you know, it's like, here's this little butterfly here, and this is the big mother here. Or, well, it could be someone you care about, someone you love very dearly. It could be a mother, your mother, Mother Earth, you know. It could be even that, like you know that maybe at some point you rejected everything because you concentrated on the competition. You wanted to get big, you know, like Leos. I believe Leos have that drive that they need to become, to make a mark on the world, right? They need to put themselves in the history books. They need to be mentioned in the newspapers. They need to create a name for themselves. Like they need to become big somehow. And sometimes you can literally do that in the world, like tangibly here, earthy. You can do that. You can earn money. You can create a business for yourself. You can, you know, to establish worth, right? To be worthy. To establish the proof that is needed that you are the one, that you have created the proof that you can do something remarkable, that you deserve to peak, right? You deserve to stand up there and get the gold medal, right? be applauded, be adored and something. And maybe something rejected you in the process of your climb here. Right? Towards godlike status, maybe you got a rejection here. And someone went away. You know, if they couldn't just, well, I'm just putting an example out there now. You know, like if you are a Leo and you are in a relationship with someone, and they thought they found the love of their life, right? And you start concentrating more and more on, growing a business, growing your value somehow again. Lately, or in the last reading, and the two last readings, I feel like earth energy very much comes through for me as value, being valuable, being attractive somehow, establishing value as a person here on earth, growing that value, whether it's, investing in education, investing in wardrobe or something, but it's something like that you have something to offer, or you do something and it has value, that you, because you are you and you have these qualities to you, you have value, you can create value, you with what you do or what you are is valuable. And in this case, it feels a little bit like wanting to establish value in the eyes of a mother, perhaps here. She's a queen, right? We could even say that someone has been on their road to fame, earthy, very, maybe maybe you are a feminine Leo. Maybe you are a woman, right? And you wanted to be this queen here. And you have been on the way towards it, right? You have been on the way towards it here. Or that this is you, that you are this queen, like she's quite glittery and everything, that you are this queen here. But something has kind of landed on your shoulder here and is telling you something. It's like it's whispering in your ear something here, right? So maybe you are this queen here, and it's like something has come in, a little whisper here. And she's turning her head here kind of to just kind of, what? Like she's listening to something perhaps here. Maybe that's your intuition. It's a little butterfly, so it's usually something winged, air-like. Here we have the three of air as underlying energy here, and it's interesting how two of the birds are sitting here, and one is on her shoulder, or on her, not shoulder, on her wing here. So how there is some kind of synchronicity here between where you are now and what you are listening to, and that at some point, because this is a driver in you, and I've said this before, like the drivers are like this energy in you that has been maybe molding and pushing for a while, that it's coming forward here. So this could be a rejection that has been like lurking in your subconscious for a very long time. The clarifier for this card is the decision card. The decision card is a card where it talks about releasing yourself from that which holds you back, a need to detox unnecessary worry based on lack of self-confidence here. So I feel like either someone left you or you decided to detox and leave a situation here where there were elements of rejection, or backstabbing or not, at least not support, right? Something that potentially could break your heart here. And maybe you got out or someone left you, right? It's like not participating in something, leaving it. Normally I see this as someone feeling very limited and they can't join the party and go out and play here because the bird sits in the cave here. But actually today it comes across as someone choosing this. That like, I would rather choose this than play with these. Because they expect certain things of me here. And I don't want that. Actually, I left that a long time ago. That is exactly what I don't want to do. Right? Because you listen to this one. Right? This one stayed with you as a loyal, you would say, friend perhaps. We talk about air energy, so swords energy. So this is like one sword, one truth, one belief, one perception, one kind of understanding. Certain worldviews, like I stick to my world, I stick to my beliefs, and I walk away here. So either someone did this to you, or you did this. Right? Because you were in a situation that was not good for you. So whether, like you flew away or you decided to simply stay in here and not play with them, it comes more across like that, like I'm sitting here, the door is open, but I stay away from it. So it can be that someone here rejected you, stayed away from you, like they chose to do that, and it was a decision that was made, right? A decision that was made to detox or stay away or to release from something that may hold you back. So maybe the chat here could be a chat that potentially could hold you back. So you had to walk away, perhaps, like to follow your own dreams, to become bigger, or to be this queen here, because she's quite glittery here. And to maybe you had to, like, she has kind of turned her back here, right? Like this one does, turning her back to something. Trusting the sword or the belief that she had, trusting that, and she walks away, like turning her back and then walking away from something. That could have been you at some point. Maybe it was someone you were dealing with, right? Maybe you left a situation here. It's interesting how the cards come up here. When I look at the table, these cards are like laying like this, So here we see someone walking away here. And this one is like looking at them. They're looking at them here. It's almost like I see it a little bit like you look back. And Mercury is in retrograde right now. So this like a memory of walking away from something. That you're looking, this one is looking at this one, right? They are looking at a memory perhaps here that felt very awful, because it is the Three of Air here. So it's a situation where someone left. Maybe it is yourself, like maybe you left something about yourself, like there are three swords here. And the Three of Swords can be very confusing, right? It's like having three minds, or three, there are opinions here. And these opinions may create some kind of problem. And maybe someone is choosing to listen to something and they take that advice perhaps, or they trust that belief system, and because of that they walk away from you, or you walked away from this here, right? Because it's confusing. It's not supporting you, it's not helping you, it's not giving you clarity, or at least, yeah, support, confidence. This is just a feeling where everything breaks down, actually. Usually the Three of Swords is like, we see a big heart, right? That is where there are these swords in it. Like a broken heart, that you feel backstabbed, that something that is really rejecting you, but it's more than that, right? It's rejecting you, perhaps gossiping, gaslighting, creating stories about you. It's not just that somebody is leaving. It's more than that. It creates an even bigger, like, yeah, an even bigger devastation. So it's almost like this is the overall energy. So this is maybe what you're thinking about at the moment, like you're looking back, right? You look back on a situation where someone left. Whether this is you, that it's your own situation, that you left something here behind, some friends perhaps. You left certain ways of thinking. You kept one and you walked forward with that, or this one did that. So whether this is someone you had a conflict with, perhaps air element, right? Your communication didn't work out. It was different worldviews. You couldn't agree on it. Someone walked away here. Someone decided to walk away, like they decided to, or stay away, stay indoor, stay out of sight, walk away, do differently, even if it isolated them, even if that the life they had became maybe less adventurous. They decided to do that anyway. That this felt better than being in the conversation here. So they had to walk away somehow. It can be a part of yourself, like rejecting a part of yourself. Like this, that you look back here, that someone is looking back, like a memory here. Looking back at a situation where you made a choice to leave someone, like to choose a different, maybe belief system, a different way of thinking, a different approach to life, perhaps here. And it was a decision that was made here to stay away from something, to keep out of sight, to stay unconnected with the others, I feel like, because they are still flying here, right? But it's like, even though you see them, this one here, even though they see them, even though they see them, even though they may even almost hear them, or they hear, hearsay about them, they are not coming back. They have left, right here. And it could be, there are many reasons for that. If this is a mother that left very early on in your life, we don't know why she left. There can be many reasons why that happened. But it's like, and it doesn't have to be a mother. It can be a man. It can be a child. It can be I'm just pondering about this child thing. Okay, it can be anybody here. It can be a part of yourself. It can be your inner child. It can be a person you know, a friend, a lover, a former lover, best friend. It could even be an animal, I want to say, but it must be someone you had like really close connection to then. But again, because we have the birds here, it could be, I want to say anything here, but it's definitely something where there was some kind of departure and you're looking at it. Maybe you have a memory of it, like you remember something that someone left. And the leaving has created some kind of void. She feels quite glittery here, right? So she is a quite fascinating persona, this one. And Leo, you can be like, you have maybe this kind of glitter around you, right? Literally or not, right? But I feel like whatever is here, it is a butterfly here, but it's very little and very fragile, you know, like, and that is one of the things that if you have a, let's say you have a human and you have a god, right? This is where the god is in a superior position, right? Because they have power and they have everything, and this little human is just like the little butterfly here. It can be crushed with 2 fingers. So it's like somehow I get the feeling this is you, Leo, that you're not this one. It could be. But then someone is trying to come back here and offer you some kind of apology. And maybe you sit like this, like you have somehow reestablished a sense of self-worth, self-confidence. Maybe you have even, you know, like maybe you have become some kind of icon. That you glitter. Maybe you are, famous here. Maybe you're famous here. Or you have always your life been up against a parent, a mother perhaps, who was very famous, who was a famous singer or something here. And you were that child, right, that grew up. Maybe you were Leo yourself, right? But there is something about being the big one and the smaller one. Or, you know, like the big mother, like the we could say the iconic mother picture, and then the little child. This could be also, you know, like looking up at your own mother as godlike, because you know, like sometimes if this happens at a very young age, that someone is leaving and they are not coming back, it can create like a really big problem. So if there is a woman in your life, you could have this idea that you have to treat her like a queen. Like you have to make sure she's not leaving. You have to make sure this is not happening again. So in order for it not to happen again, you have to treat her like a queen here. You have to look up to her like she is this iconic figure who cannot leave, because she and this is to clarify, she represents life force, right? She's the creator of life. She may have created you, right? She may have created you. Therefore, you look up to her, especially if something has happened. Maybe she left at some point and she came back. And in order for this not to happen again, you have to be humbling yourself. I don't know why I get that feeling like a Leo that is humbling themselves because of something iconic that is well, it has to do with this idea that if I got rejected once, I have to be a bad person. So if someone comes into my life and chooses me, it must be because they see something else in me, and I have to always be aware of that they choose to stay here with me, even though I'm such a bad person. I must be, because otherwise I wouldn't have been left here. Children tend to do that, like they take the responsibility for all kinds of situations, that if someone is leaving, it's because I'm bad. And therefore I have to put myself in a place where they are always like this icon or idol, or like I've put them on a pedestal. Like if this is you, Leo, it's like you've put someone on a pedestal here. And it is a queen here. I say it could be a woman, otherwise someone who has very feminine traits, I want to say. Feminine ways of being. And because of that, it could be a man, but then it's a gentleman, I want to say. It's a gentleman. Well, it's a gentle persona, right? They have a gentle persona. And because of that, you have kind of put them on this pedestal. So I have this feeling of if they are unhappy here, this is where I feel like someone would come in like the little child that wants to apologize. I'm sorry, mother, right? I'm sorry. Because you cannot risk that they would walk away here. That this is something that happened once, I think. And by all means, it must not happen again. So someone is put on a pedestal. Look at how big she is here. And how little this butterfly is. It's like there is a like that, it's not equal, right? That this little as I said, she can cross this butterfly with 2 fingers, right? That's how majestic she is. That's how powerful she is. It could be. Again, look at this picture here. When I look at this, right? This is almost like, no, I am not coming out to play. I stay with mother. I stay with mother. This one here. How big she is. Look at how big she is. I prefer to stay with mother. Or, I don't know, yeah, that's what I feel like. There is and she's the one holding the cage. She has opened the door here. This one can fly out, but they are not. They stay with mother. Or mother. They stay with their queen. I don't know, Leo, if this is you, do you have someone, maybe a child or a friend, a lover, a romantic partner, a wife or a spouse who will stay with you rather than going out and have fun with their friends. This one is like these. Like it's the same species here, right? They could go out and have fun with these one, but they're not doing it. It's like they stay here. Because this one is so glittery and big and quiet. There is a fascination, there is a big fascination here. Or this has the idealization, the putting on a pedestal, you know, like this can be someone you work very hard to give them whatever they want. Gucci bags, jewelry, clothes, you know. That this one is iconic to you. Like they have an enormous status for you. And potentially it's because at some point something walked away here. And I think it's not so much because you are proud of them, that you adore them and something. It's actually more like you are afraid to lose them. You're afraid that they will leave again. You are afraid that that their greatness is leaving. And it's because she represents life force, right? She is the second chakra here, the womb. Again, I see this big angel and then something that is trying to work itself out here in the chakra, like a baby, right? That a baby in the arms of mother. What was it? Was it Gemini? Where I talked about the title is called Mother is Here. Was it Gemini? It's almost like you preferring to be in the presence of something that is of much more importance. Like it's of much more importance than going out with your friends here or something, go shopping or I don't know. Like this one here is of much more importance. It could also be what this is, that this one is leaving, right? And one sits here, and that could be you, that you chose to go with her. Like you chose to... that you've always chosen her. That no matter what, you would always choose her. You know, like an utmost devotion and loyalty to something. To the mother. To the Mother Earth, to yeah, like it's like, yeah, it's overly iconic, godlike, I want to say, or goddess-like. And that could be, maybe that's what you devoted yourself to, right? That you devoted yourself to this path of the goddess. Like being in service or listening to the goddess, right? That you were... maybe that's what you've done, like you have listened to that whisper. The whisper of the goddess, you know, and that's also how the idea that you that if you get, how can I say this? There is a difference between listening to God. So like that you listen to a God, like almost like a voice outside of you that is different than you and very big. That's one thing. And then there is this thing that God is in you and you are the God, and you listen to that voice and you make that big. That would be a little more grandiose, more, some would say narcissistic maybe. It doesn't have to be, but it is following this idea that you are the one that is God or goddess, and you, therefore you are big, therefore you are glittery, therefore you are. And that's the grandiose kind of thinking. So one thing is listening like to something, again, where you are humbly just in service of something big here. Or that you are the one that is big. You see the difference between that. Here it's almost like you are in service of someone here. Or someone is in service of you. Right? Someone is in service of you, staying home, staying with you. Because they see that, again, the value of the queen here. That the queen of earth has that value. Like she is... We could even say that, we could talk about that queen, the queen element is a creative element, like the womb, the second chakra here. She could have been the one who gave birth to you here, like this was your mother, right? That your mother, you may always have been fascinated by your mother, putting her on a pedestal, wanting her to... you've always seen her in these eyes, like as this iconic, glittery, fascinating being, right? That this has always been how you saw her. We could talk about Earth, right? That being quite fascinated with Earth and all that Earth offers, because it is life force here. That mother is the life force. The nurture a mother gives, right? It could be that there is this utmost respect, perhaps, for a mother energy of what it is that she has to provide. It could be that someone else left here. Maybe a father was leaving here. And you were left with the mother. Maybe you were not the only one. Maybe there were others here. Children, perhaps. And they were left. Someone was leaving. And maybe a mother was leaving a marriage here. And you were the child that followed her. And because she is now a single parent taking care of you, there is no one else. You are dependent on her. She becomes this iconic figure, right? That you have to make sure that she is great. You have to make sure she's all right. You putting her on a pedestal, favorizing her, puts her in a superior position and you in an inferior position. A position where it's up to her, right? It's up to her here. Whatever she whispers becomes your demand. So are you in service of like an external, like God, you could say, Christ, God, Mother God? Are you in service of like the divine, and listening to that, feeling the inspiration that it whispers in your ears here, and you follow that guidance, towards the success that you want to build as a Leo? And is that in itself success? Like that would be following a guidance from someone bigger than you, Leo. And finding utmost, you could say, success and appreciation and gratitude in that. I feel like if that's the case, I'm talking to a Leo who has realized that awakening or woke Leo. Because this is someone who puts themselves in other shoes. They allow themselves to be guided. They are no longer the one who is in charge. They are no longer the ones who burst towards the top and leaves everyone else behind. Expect them to be there. Expect them to adore you forever. In that case, I feel like you take guidance from something else. And you let that guide you somewhere. You let it guide you somewhere. And you just listen to whatever you are guided to do. Offer your help, offer your assistance. You're not bursting in there because your own ego tells you to. This is something where you are guided to be in service of like the greater divine. Because there is a realization that life force is precious. Life force energy, the flame, the life force is precious. And it needs protection. It needs maybe, as I said here, like an adoration that you really have. You're respecting and really wanting to honor something. It could be like a very devoted Leo husband to a wife here. But I see it's almost like a flip turn of Leo energy, and this gratitude, like having this enormous gratitude for a mother who was there, who stayed, where maybe someone else was left, like if a father was moving out, or this can be like a sibling, having a somewhat older sibling, and they took care of you where someone else was leaving, right? And rejecting you. That something else was there to take care of you. It could be a grandmother, and suddenly having this burst of appreciation that if they were not there, if they had not been there, right? If they had not been there, what would my life have been like? Where would I have ended? Having this burst of gratitude for some kind of caretaker, I want to say, that becomes iconic in your world. Like it becomes this, idol, a big idol of appreciation and an extreme fascination for someone, and seeing them in like this utmost grateful and appreciative light. It's almost like what would have happened? What would have happened if they were not there? If they were not there, How should I have sustained myself after this? How should I have maybe ever, like, it's like she's coming out here and she's introducing this bird here to the world, right? And what is possible in the world. The bird is not flying, they still stay with mother here, but mother is still introducing, like, again here, mother is still introducing the butterfly to the world. And there is this utmost trust and maybe fascination, but I also feel like a bond, a very big bond with someone. And I think it's because at some point someone left here. I don't know who this is, right? Could be an air sign, if you I don't know, an air element, or a conversation that somehow just broke everything down. And someone was there who took care of you, maybe got you on your feet again, somewhat on your feet here after a heartbreak. And they they take you, they know that you need still to be safe and protected, that you need that, but they are still taking you out in the world here. And you've kind of made the decision that you feel comfortable with this one here. You feel comfortable here. You rather want to stay there. You rather want to be loyal and stay with this one here. Because she is the life force. Yeah, maybe she is the one who got you back on your feet. Like someone who maybe I don't know, nurtured you, helped you. And when that happens, it's like when if you as a Leo have been hit to the ground tremendously, and someone is there to nurture you back into health, like nurture you back into getting some of your strength back. I think for a Leo, first of all, losing all your strength is devastating. Like, that in itself is probably like one of the worst things ever happening. But then if someone is there who actually cares and gets you back on your feet, I understand why a Leo could get to the point of like putting them on this pedestal, seeing them as this iconic figure, that like the life force, my mother. It could be a mother. I get mother energy again here. Maybe a Gemini, because I feel like mother is here was the title for the Gemini reading. Maybe look that up as well. But there's something about this mother energy, the caretaker, the one. What if she was not there? I even want to go as far as, if this is a woke, like an awakening or a woke Leo, it could be because you represent the yang energy, the fiery, very potent and very strong yang energy. That that strength of the Leo, that it comes from somewhere. That strength, you could never have had that if you didn't have a mother who gave birth to you, right? That could be this like a totally like reversing way of thinking of this Leo. Like, I couldn't have been here unless someone gave birth to me. I couldn't have been here. When my heart got broken, I couldn't have managed to rise up again unless my mother was there to bring me back up again. Like, if the nurture of the mother is not present on earth, if there are no mothers, what then, right? It's almost like a Leo that has this, like a wow moment, like this aha moment of, I'm nothing with, I would have been nothing if if she had not been there. I would have been nothing. And look at the final card here. Look at how this one sits. Like, I see this like a humbling, right? This, like a humbling feeling of sitting and almost praying, right? Praying for, like this, I'm sorry, right? I look at the eyes also, right? Look at how, that's why I talk about an awakening or a woke Leo here. It's like becoming aware of another energy or of another part of you or a person in your life who has just been there, perhaps, like maybe they have always been there, right? Maybe this is the one who took you out of a situation that was very terrible. It was heartbreaking, but it was a terrible situation, right? Or a very terrible situation where she tried to protect you, perhaps, here. And from that day forward, it was like me and you against the world or something, right? That and maybe realizing that I would have been nothing without her. Like, I wouldn't have even known how to get by in life, right? I wouldn't have, because whatever happened here is something very hurtful here. And if she wouldn't have been there to kind of get me up again, if this voice had not been here to tell me that everything is going to be fine again, I wouldn't have trusted her. It could even be here that you are the queen here, right? And you actually got to the top. Maybe you did get your fame. Maybe you did get your, I don't know, grandiose lifestyle in some way. But the only way you could have gotten here is because someone was assisting you. And I feel like someone sits here and like humbling gratitude for something. Realizing if I had been surrounded only with yang energy, competitive yang energy, like myself, I couldn't have grown myself bigger here. I could never have been, I could never become like that unless they were there, right? Unless they were with me. And that's what I feel like is happening here. It talks about transformation, right? That going through some kind of transformation process where I really feel like, look how she's sitting here. It's almost like really humbling themselves and like suddenly perhaps like seeing a person in this bigger picture. Like maybe you have never thought about your mother like that. You took her for granted, perhaps. Like you took her for granted, her kindness, her support, like you took it totally for granted. You never, maybe you even saw it as a weakness, right? Like being like that is weak. Then you can never get to the top. But without it, without it in the world, without the mother in the world, or we could say without the good mother in the world, I would probably not have gotten there in the first place. That's what I feel like. Someone sits here in this realization that if this other thing was not around me to support me and guide me and get me up when I fall, if they had not been there in the way they are, if they had been like me, it would have been a competition, right? But because they were not like me, because they were different than me, because they were offering something else to the world, to me and to the world, I got to be the one I am, right? I got to be strong, perhaps, because she always believed in it. She always told me. She always guided me. She always supported me. She always nurtured me if I fell, right? If she had not been there, I wouldn't have made it, perhaps, right? I wouldn't have made it. And I just have this feeling of like this utmost appreciation for the mother here, second chakra, womb energy. That is this respect that the women hold this energy. Some do it better than others, agreed. But you know that the women hold this energy, and we should have like utmost appreciation for the ability that they can do this. They can actually bring life. They can create. They are the women are those who can bring life to the world. They hold the life force energy. They can create a baby where a man cannot. A woman has created you, Leo. So if you sit on top of the power, just know that at some point someone did this. If they had not been here, and if they had not been able to have yin energy and have this creative womb, they would not have been, you wouldn't have been here. You wouldn't even have existed. It could even be that someone is realizing God has to be a woman or a feminine energy because it's life force. No masculine energy could ever create the universe. You know, like it could be even like that big. It could be abstract in that way, that a realization, I'm here because of a goddess of creation. Like a goddess of creation. And only because of that. As I said in the beginning, it's like Leo energy is so potent. It's extremely potent. And it has this drive to be on top, to be in charge, to be the decision maker, to be big, to be seen, to have applause, to have fans, to have big muscles and roar, that everybody hears me and everybody sees me and I'm in the spotlight and I'm the best, right? That's the Leo, right? And many Leos do succeed in that area. They do somehow establish that worth. But as I said, it needs to be kept ongoing. You have to constantly prove that you are that Leo, otherwise another Leo comes and takes your place. And maybe you can only stand on this number one gold medal position in life because someone is cheering you here, because someone has always been by your side, being your cheerleader, being the one who tells you that This is the one that constantly tells you that you are on the top, that you are perfect, that you are big and strong, that you are fascinating, that you are glorious, you know. That it's only because someone has been willing to stand there and give you this, like this feedback. Otherwise, you wouldn't have made it. The competition is too big. Right? And when you fall, someone should come and get you up. If nobody gets you up when you fall, Leo, you could second guess yourself. I just feel like there's this someone here, the Leo I'm talking to, and I don't have Leo strong in my chart at all, so I don't know who this is, but I know that it's like this Leo, and I have talked about in other Leo readings a long time back, I've talked about this idea of a Leo being programmed or being brought up to be a dog, like a follower of someone who may have seemed, you know, fascinating here or put on a pedestal. So being a follower of a persona, a mother perhaps here. But I see now that if I'm still talking to that one, I understand now why. I understand that this mother, or this idea of the feminine, like it could be any feminine, a sister, it could be you know, a pet, a dog, a dog that is a she-dog, right? Being fascinated with the creative womb energy, this idea of the life force, that it kind of resides with the she, with the her, with the woman, and maybe having a fascination for this whole concept, right? Something like that. And knowing that if you, as the yang, if you are a male, a he, that you cannot do that. No matter how much you try, you cannot do that. You can never be that. Let's say, for instance, you are a father, a man, and you are a father, and you have children. And they realize, if you got a divorce, someone left here, you got a divorce, and you can never be the mother to those children. Realizing that you are the father, and you have your qualities, but you can never be the mother, right? As the mother can never be the father, but the mother, that there's a special bond perhaps between a mother and son, or maybe between the children and the mother. Like she has a certain quality, and you can never be that, right? You can't be a mother if you are the father, right? Then you can be the mother. So there could be this it could be that you're watching your wife and how she interacts with your children, and you're realizing and like really appreciating how she is, her way, like having a deep fascination for the way a mother or women in general may interact with children, or how they could be prepared to offer some kind of understanding or support or something. And having like this flip, like that suddenly in your awareness you have this, what would the world be like if she was not here? We are in a very male-dominated world. Many women are even masculine. I have lived most of my life in masculine energy. Taking care of things, you know, being practical and everything, that is a masculine trait. Fixing stuff, taking care of stuff, putting things in the calendar, cleaning, doing all kinds of stuff. Being a doer is masculine. Where the beer energy, the being energy, is feminine. So the energy that can just stay in a, they are in a situation, and they can create this place of just being safe, being calm, being gentle, perhaps. This place where time doesn't exist, actually. It's more of a flow state. You know, like, that is a quality. And if nobody is able to do that, if there's constant competition, constant yang, then what would the world be like? That's what I feel. I feel like I'm tapping into. Like, there's this like awareness that suddenly realizing that I couldn't even have the fame I have. I could never have gotten to the top of something, or conquering something, or having my confidence even. I wouldn't never have had my confidence if nobody would have cheered me, like they would have been supporting me. To get my point? Like, that's what I feel like. I'm talking to someone who is realizing maybe that the way they have, you know, like, connected with their own mother and seeing them as this iconic figure, almost like an idol, and like really staying there for her safety, you could say. It could be due to some kind of rejection where someone left at some point. It could be that you're realizing now how you have put women on a pedestal, or a mother on a pedestal, always maybe comparing others with her. That could also be why someone is staying in the cave here. That you've always compared, you know, these here with her. So that this idea of interacting in the world and trusting the world, and that if the world didn't show up like her, you wouldn't trust it. You would walk away. You would always compare with her, right? That you compare the world with her. And if someone is, if they are not presenting, you know, like in that way, if they cannot create this feeling of warmth and safety and warmth and support and all this stuff, then you'd rather stay here in your cave, right? You rather stay there as opposed to going out and just confront the world. It's almost like needing this safety net of the woman, or needing the safety net of knowing that she's there, having this special kind of I want to say safety net or connection, that a Leo that has a very strong connection with the mother, or the mother energy, or the memory of the mother, or something. And being alone let's say if your mother died, being alone here now puts you in this very humbling, where you may feel all the world around you, may feel the competition, right? You may feel that you would rather run back to mother if you could. And now I'm really raw. Like, again, I've taken off any kind of mask. This is a very raw, like, message. So either you resonate with this or you don't, or you run from it. That you don't want to acknowledge this in yourself, that you have very high standards, maybe, because you are constantly comparing here with someone. And you do not feel safe on your own. And if you actually come across a feminine energy that resembles her, you could be the one that bows here, right? You could be the one that bows, because if you could somehow have a connection with this one, then you're safe again. Because now the support system is in check, right? This is what I have. And there is almost like this apology of needing to crawl, almost crawling back here, crawling back to mother. Like you've done something wrong or something here. I'm not quite sure why. And it's a transformative time, right? The transformation is this realization that it's like you've done something wrong and you should crawl back and apologize. That's why that was the initial feeling, like an apology. I have to not wear a mask. I have to be really honest. And that's why I didn't put up any makeup. I wasn't trying to, like cover everything up or something. That it has to be really raw and authentic and honest. That this is like, like almost praying to God for some kind of help or something. Praying for redemption or apology, or that's what I feel. It's something like that. It feels rather very hot. Look at the face here. Like it's really, it's heartbreaking. It's like someone has come into a realization about someone or something here. And they're like, just, like praying, like on their knees here. It's on their knees here, praying for some kind. And that's also how I see this. Like they are sitting there humbly, sitting on the shoulder of this big mother here, and like asking for forgiveness. That's what I feel like. Like they have disturbed something. Like they've created some kind of mess, and now they feel like an aftermath of it. Like they feel that they have done something wrong, and now they come, like a little dog, asking mother for forgiveness, right? Crawling like that, and not at all having the same kind of power as this one. Like this is just, if she doesn't like your apology, she can just squeeze you between her fingers and kind of throw you out, right? That's what this one feels like. Like they are in this mode here. And like they're, like they're praying here to mother, right? And mother should forgive them. If you have such a connection with your mother, I want to say this looks more like a trauma bond for me. Like having a connection that is like that where, of course, if she was very supportive and you have realized, oh, I have neglected that connection, I've never thought of her as beautiful in that way, then yeah, then it's not a trauma bond, I would say. Then you're just realizing someone was putting themselves in service of you. They did that without you asking, for instance, right? They took the mother role, and they did that for you, for your growth, for you becoming as strong as you could become, right? That would be how you can realize something about your mother. But if this has to do with you needing a mother, that you need a mother here. You need a mother presence to be there with you. And you sit like in this humble dog-like position about mother, I would say that would be more like a trauma bond. Then it's like she has some kind of power over you. Again, look at how big she is, right? That she has become this icon, and you are just this humble little person, right? But as a Leo, you shouldn't sit like that. You should be equal to her, right? So take it how it resonates. I can see both scenarios here, like that both things can play out like that, especially if there has been some kind of rejection, that someone left at some point. And that rejection, or this void, that something is leaving here, is devastating. So if someone comes back, or someone else is present who takes over, who takes the role of the caretaker, then you could potentially idolize that person. Especially as a child, idolizing that person because they were there and they stayed, right? And maybe they were a great mother, actually. They supported you in it. If this is an adoptive mother, right? They could have like really like done everything they could to support you. And that's maybe why you have such a big like icon. You see them is in this iconic, idolized way somehow. But I also want to say you probably compare with her. So needing or wanting others to be like her. And that could be a problem, right? Because maybe they are not. But it doesn't mean that they can be good friends anyway. They are just not mother-like. Maybe you prefer that those around you should be mother-like, right? Motherly. Because that is nice. That you probably maybe you have realized this about yourself, and you're trying to figure out how to get out of that. Like you're asking for help here. How can I somehow get out of that feeling here? Because I don't want to sit in the shadow of my mother, right? I don't want to be able to need her all the time. I don't want to be weak, perhaps, or feel weak. You know, like maybe you've had an overprotective mother, and in some way you never had got to challenge yourself. And now it could be that you want to break this bond, right? That you are asking for some kind of help here, because you know that you see that it's like you can't break that you can't break this thing. So take it as it resonates, whether you suddenly have this epiphany about the feminine energy and how enormously important it is in the world, and you have this suddenly seeing it in this iconic way, that either you have that experience, this awakening to this, oh my, if they had not been around, I don't even know how I should have survived then. I don't even know how, you know. Or you have this other experience that you suddenly realize that you depend on your mother so much that you can't actually go out in the world, that you can't go out and have a healthy life. You rather prefer to sit here with her. Maybe you're protective of her, right? That you would rather sit at home with her because you're protective of her. And if you stay at home, she's not leaving, right? She's not having a life of her own if you stay. I don't know. So if you grow up as a child, if you stay at home and you're not engaging with friends, the longer you stay at home, the longer you can keep her at home. Because she's devoted to you as a mother, right? So she will tend to you, take care of you, wash your clothes, make dinner, all this stuff. And it leaves her staying the mother for very long because you somehow depend on her, right? You depend on her. But it's actually more like if you stepped up and actually matured and knew that you could do this also. It's just nice that she does. But if you then suddenly lose her, now you sit like this because you have grown so dependent on her that you can't actually manage in the world without someone like that around you. There is a distinction between feeling that you have strength, feeling that you are worthy, feeling and knowing that you will get it, that you will go to the top, that I have what it takes and to go there, and then being treated like royalty. Like if you have a parent that treats you like royalty, so they do everything for you. They wash your clothes, they serve your dinner, they do everything for you. But in that process, you never really learn how to prove that you just have an awareness that you somehow are special, maybe. Because you are treated like that. But you never really, and you don't have to make any proof. You don't have to prove that you are Leo. You're just treated like one. Like if you grow up in an environment where your parents are just doing this for you, you are treated as if you are royalty. You don't have to prove it. If they are suddenly not there, then you will sit like this, not knowing what to do, right? Because now your security system, the base is gone. Somehow I feel like it's like I'm juggling two energies. The one that really suddenly realizes how much maybe your parents or a mother has done for you growing up and everything. And just having this, oh my God, if they were not there, what would my life have been like, right? Having this enormous appreciation for everything they've done and gratitude and like seeing their worth also, right? And on the other hand, I have this one who may have been growing up being favored somehow, the favored child, or the one where the mother did everything. They just did everything. They never asked for a proof. They never asked for. They never corrected. They never, they just did everything. But maybe I don't know, something happened. Maybe they died, maybe they got ill, maybe they just couldn't no longer do this for you. And suddenly you stand like this and you have no clue how to conduct your life. Because somehow you were always favored, or you were always put on a pedestal, or you were always, just served somehow, as if you were royalty. Or you just had to say few things and then whoopsie, everything got done for you. So I'm not quite sure whom I'm talking to. Maybe I'm talking to different here, or you are a cross watcher and you're dealing with a Leo that has some of this going on for them. Maybe you are maybe you're the girlfriend in love with a Leo and you are constantly compared with their mother, something. That could also be it. That you see how you must act like that mother. Otherwise, the Leo is not choosing you, like you're up against something unfair somehow, right? Because if you're the girlfriend, the cross watcher, you're not their mother. You're not supposed to be their mother. Okay. And maybe if you're the cross watcher, maybe this is you. Like you sit here and you're just like, but I cannot compare with that mother, right? I don't want to compare with that mother. I just want to be me, right? Why can't you just accept me like I am? I don't know, this is what I get. It's kind of similar to last week's reading, where the Leo was trying to walk in someone else's shoes. Trying to humble themselves, trying to see things from a different perspective. I get a bit similar here, but also I want to say a different tune to it somehow. And there's definitely something about this mother and comparing and something. It's everything, maybe you're the girlfriend and you make dinner and your Leo boyfriend tells you, well, it's an okay lasagna, right? But it doesn't compare to my mother's. It never compares to what mother could make for me. Something like that. Like the mother has this iconic kind of pedestal thing going on, and everything you may do as a friend to this Leo, or you as a Leo, you are dealing with someone, and there is this needing to be as good as that mother, needing to be like that, this constant comparing to something, which is competitive, right? And I just feel like someone sits here and they don't want that, right? They don't like this competitive thing. It's like every time you feel that that you're competing against this iconic thing, it's either humbling you, or it makes your self-esteem, your confidence becomes low, right? Because you're never good enough. You can never be good enough for that. You can never, ever, ever compete with that. It will never be good enough. So if I'm talking to someone who is dealing with a Leo, or you as a Leo, you have this situation going on, just know that this mother comparison can never It can never work. If you have a girlfriend in your life, don't compare her to your mother, because she's not your mother. She's not supposed to be your mother. She's supposed to be your girlfriend or your wife or something. She's not supposed to be your mother. Your mother had a role when you were a child and young, but you should have kind of outgrown that role. You shouldn't need her like that. And you should definitely not compare another woman with her. That is definitely a way of maybe making women leave, right? Because they don't want to be your mother. They want to be your girlfriend. You know, it's something like that. Okay, I'm going to stop now. Again, I'm 1 hour 35 minutes in. So, well, but this is what I had for you, Leo, this time around. I hope this helped. Yeah. Take care of yourself out there. Yeah, I'm not saying anymore, but take care of yourself out there. I wish you the very best on this journey. If you really sit in despair like this, don't worry. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. This transformation is necessary for you, right? This is what I have. I hope this helped in any way possible. Please give it a thumbs up if you like it, or share it with someone who could maybe benefit from it, right? Take care of yourself out there, Leo. I send you my very best love and light to you. Bye-bye.